imaginable. Uh, some of them are coming from single family homes, broken family homes, family homes where it's not broken and everything is beautiful. Poverty, all I mean, just the whole the melting pot of situations. And some of them have learned how to be men. Some of them haven't become men. Uh, some of them are on the path to learning. Some of them are coming out of bad relationships. They're bringing their baggage into the next. And I think that that's just one of the things that's going to happen. And it's tough. It's challenging to navigate what you're getting when you get it.
Ladies, what do y'all think? Is dating challenging? Is he correct in his statement?
Dating is definitely challenging because a lot of the guys now want to be treated like women.
Mm.
And I have a firsthand experience, but I won't go into that. I had a guy.
No, go into it.
Okay.
Yeah, I want to hear that.
We're here.
I'm triggered.
Go into it.
I'm triggered
because I'm sick of this shit.
Okay, so I had a guy. I don't know. I don't know. I talked about this somewhere, but I had a guy that I was dating, and I made a little bit more. He wanted me to cohabitate with him, but when I came into the cohabitation, it was not even 50-50. I felt like it was 75 on my end. It was like he wanted me to pay this and do this, and if I'm staying there, I should be able to do this. No, sir, that's not how this works. So I ended up spending a lot of my time over there, but I never got rid of my place because I'm not stupid. So then that became an overhanging thing because I never told him that I didn't get rid of my place, but I never told him that I still had my place.
Call leaving that back door open.
So of course he found out I was a liar. She's a liar. If you're going to lay next to me every night, you're lying. No, I'm protecting myself because I don't know which way this is going to go. You can get mad at me at any point, and this is your house. So then guess what? If you put me out of your house, I'm going to go back to mine.
Mother may have, father may have. God bless the child that has her own. Keep that house.
Yeah, I'd never let my place go, and it became this thing like he would get so upset because I wasn't nurturing enough for him. And I was like, well, what do you need me to do? Because
he wanted to
define nurturing. He wanted to be a kept woman. Exactly.
Right.
So so big flag that I completely missed. He wanted me to spoon him. I'm not a spooner. You're bigger than me. Spoon me.
Wait, what? Like physically?
He wanted to be the little spoon. No, I'm the little spoon because I'm little. Little spoon me. I'm not little spooning you. Wow. This is not what we're doing because what the fuck?
Charles and Uncle Boots. Charles, Uncle Boots. At this point, we need to do an intervention. We need a name and an address.
The thing is, I know exactly who she's talking about. I'm about to pull up. Like, I know exactly who she's talking about. I'm about to pull up.
I seen the picture.
It's some bullshit.
I seen the picture, and I was like, I don't know how this motherfucker ain't on Shutter Island. Okay? This nigga looked 5150 to me. I was like, all right.
But the thing about it was,
hold on. Can I ask a question and not to knock metrosexualism?
Amen.
Can I ask a question?
Sure. To me or to everyone?
I'm not to you. I need to know if the whole metrosexual thing played a role. Is he very metrosexual?
No, not at all.
That was the crazy part. He wasn't.
Not at all.
Hard body. Gangster looking.
So, just to fast forward through it, it did really badly. Like, could be a whole nother show. I could talk to y'all about how badly it ended. But he wanted to be the woman in the relationship. When I look back at everything and how everything went, he wanted to be the woman. He wanted. Right, so
niggas who want to be with their mama to go back to being with their mama.
But the thing is, his relationship with his mother was not the best. That's why when you guys were talking about it, was like,
that's the reason.
You know, how would you treat your mother? He treated his mother like shit, to be honest.
Jesus Christ.
I mean, this is looking for a replacement mommy.
And that's what it ended up being. He wanted a replacement mommy. He wanted me to do everything that she did not do for him. So we broke up. Couple days later, he's with a whole nother chick, and he gets on social media to take shots And somebody had posted a meme about spooning. So underneath of this thing, he was like, and she spoons me every night. The new chick is like 5'4". This Negro is 6'2", and she's little spooning him. I said, oh, he a whole fag at this point, because I don't.
Excuse me?
Yeah,
I'm 5'8".
he did not want to be clear about, nothing. I'm not going to knock the fact of his real orientation, but he needed to come out to you. He really needed to come out to you and be clear what he was really looking for, because he was trying to identify in that type of a heterosexual relationship, but he wasn't ready.
No. But what's really interesting is last weekend, Dwight, you used the word of opportunistic when dating as a Black man. This is a good opportunity to see that not only can men be used for their resources, so can us women. There's some men that look at the degrees that we have, look at the jobs that we have, look at the things that we have, and they can start calculating in their heads like, nurturing. Does she have her own life? Note to self: let me take a toothbrush. Let me take a pair of Timbs. Let me take an oversized T-shirt. Let me make myself at home. Let me use her Uber Eats. Let me put my login on her Netflix.
All that.
So it's like the same way that men get swindled out of $10, $20 at Applebee's. We get swindled out of hundreds of dollars as well on resources taking care of men. So it's opportunity goes both ways.
The messed up part about it is I've known this guy for years. We went to school together, and he was never, how, that's why I said you can't always tell a snake, because we were so good friends. But once that line crossed, whole different person.
He felt comfortable taking advantage of you because he felt that it was safe enough that he had known you long enough to do it. Just like
that he can manipulate it because he thought you wouldn't think he would do that.
And reach his hand in your pocket.
Bad girl self.
And I mean, it was. And when I sat back and looked at everything, I was like, one, how did I get here listening to outside entities? Because I gave him way more chances than I should have when I saw certain things going on. Yeah. But it was like, you have that friends that's like, oh, well, that's trauma with his mom. Oh, you should still try to be there and be that nurturer that he's looking for. And I'm like, okay.
How long did you let it go on?
All I'm gonna say, if you would have tamed me, Dottie, and like we were supposed to have been like here, if you'd have told me that situation early, I'd have been told you to get the hell out of there. I'd have been like, nah, son, that shit ain't it.
Hindsight is 2020 with situations like that. I think the biggest thing, and I'll be very transparent. Dottie knows this. When me and Dottie met, I moved in with a young lady. I got put out of my crib. I was wilding. I was alcoholic. So my mama told me to leave. You got to go, son. You're too much. So I did the RN route, which don't start saying for registered nurse. I went the RN route and moved in with a shorty. Moved in with a female, and probably 3 months in, because I'm an alcoholic, I'm starting to run around here acting crazy, making rules. Looking back on it, I'm like, damn, who the hell did I think I was? Moving in with someone and then telling them what I'm not about to do. Like, you see how these things work.
Yeah, you can't roll up to somebody's house and then.
Have you talked to her since you moved out?
This house to be run.
Yeah,
like,
that person attempted to get me a block. So that's a no.
Okay, so you don't have the space to like go back and like apologize or unpack.
What was bad about it was the pandemic drew us back together, but alcoholism what we bonded over, because she's an alcoholic, but she doesn't announce her alcoholism. So as I was trying to show her like the new light and the new way of certain things, it was just like you don't know, you blah 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 blah. So yeah, it doesn't matter. At a certain point as a man, you do damage to some women, you don't even need to go back to say sorry. You can, but it ain't gonna make no difference. That's what I've learned. You just keep that sorry in your back pocket and hope that karma don't slap your ass across the face.
Exactly.
Because sometimes you will do more damage going back and apologizing. Like I might have healed from that already, and here you are reopening this wound. So definitely, sometimes it's just best to just leave it unsaid. That was no bad blood, but
sometimes people like that drama and want to have it drawn out. Because that said person is drawing out something that doesn't need to be drawn out right now. And it's like, you just want to do this because you like the drama. you want to continue with the drama. You think you're hurting people, but you're not. You're really hurting yourself because some people just don't care anymore. No. But because they just want that kind of stuff, they want to make you jealous. And I'm just like, sometimes it's very sad. That's why when I was glad y'all had this, because listening to the guys last week, and I was just like, y'all really, I know you guys are actually in a different space than most people, but it's some guys out here that's really acting up.
And I do want to say, just to kind of go piggyback off what we're talking about, like, we also have to acknowledge that society has played a role in making women feel like, especially Black women, feel like we don't support Black men enough. So a lot of times we find ourselves in these situations where we're giving money and we're showing all this and we're doing all of this, even though our better judgment is telling us stop doing for the grown-ass man. He's a grown-ass man. I don't want to be looked at by society as if I'm not supporting him. I'm not going to uplift him. I'm not going to help him through his trials. I'm not going to be there and give him the shirt off of my back because I'm that strong Black independent woman. To be turned around and be treated badly for being a strong Black independent woman.
Girl, she preaching my whole life right here.
Patty.
And may I add, Patty, I had no idea that was a narrative that you all as Black women went through until I've been talking to somebody.
You know now.
Oh no, I know now. But the person that I'm speaking with, conversing with right now, she told me that I once upon a time posted something on social media saying like someone wanted to take me out. It was a complete joke, but in her eyes, she was like, well, Pooch, is that what you want? You want a woman who gonna take you out and spend money on you? And what, you think I wouldn't do that? And I was like, no. Do you worry about that? Like, I mean, I appreciate it. If you want to take me out, baby, fine.
But sometimes we can worry about that because you have guys that would be like, if you're not going to do it, somebody else will. And then you get into that space where you're like, okay, well, I'm trying, because that's what happened. It was like listening to people. It's okay. Now, first of all, I didn't get this person all my money because I clearly had a whole house of my own that I was still taking care of. So, but it made funds limited to what he wanted to do. And he's like, well, we want to go do this. And I'm like, okay. And he looking at me and I'm like, well, you got a job, you got money. What's the problem? He wanted me to front the bill. So it ended up and then this is where the problem with being a Black woman dating is because now the person that he's dealing with is not of African American descent. And they're doing a lot of this.
Knew it.
I mean, Patty and Dottie opened up a can of worms. I think with Black women, they mistake our support for complacency. So it's like, okay, you have a Black man that's unemployed, lives at home with his folks, has multiple children on child support. Like, we're supposed to just, because he's a Black man, we have to support him. We have to take him from the bottom and uplift him to the top. Would you do that if the roles were reversed? Like, right? Like, are you going to uplift me?
When we do, but hold on. To be fair. Now, I'm not speaking on the ladies here in this panel, and I'm not speaking to the ones who are handling their business. But there is a large group of women who have multiple children, who are couch hopping, who isn't employed, and they use every subsidy that they can ever find from the government, and they expect the men to accept them exactly for where they are, who they are, and everything that comes with them. And then, like, we try to hold them. If we try to hold them accountable, it's just like, well, how dare? I'm a woman.
No, I completely agree. They should be held accountable.
What's good for the goose ain't good for the gander. Like, what's that?
But part? I think a lot of times we see more in those situations where if they do get a man that kind of feed something into him and give to him. And I'm not saying all women, because you are right. There is a large group of women that are expecting a man just to come in and take care of her and be complacent themselves. There is. It happens. But I think more oftentimes we find where you find those situations where a man comes in, he actually brings something to the table and gives her space to do something for herself. And she then makes something more of herself. Women are more likely to take those resources. And,
well, man,
I don't know if it's as rare as when I'm talking about with these men.
If we're talking about the guys who have a lot of capital that are making $100K a year or more,
I ain't talking about $100K. I have seen personally situations where they have gotten with a man and they may have been down on their luck and not, unemployed, got a child, living on government assistance because they just on their bad luck, and they get a guy that comes in and gives them that kind of boost, that kind of leadership to lead them in a certain direction. And they use that leadership to build on themselves and to grow. I've seen where, a guy's come in and said, I'm going to help you get therapy. Let's talk about therapy. And it gives them we can do that with some of these black men, and it's like, nah, I ain't going to therapy. But I ain't getting a job.
Yeah, that's the wildest thing. I don't know why the mediocrity. I don't know why we have so much apathy, and and like at the same time we pointing fingers. We're not looking at the three that's pointing back at us. Like as far as black men, like there was a time where we made sure the house was taken care of, like completely. Like we knew what we had to do. You know what I'm saying? We may not be making every baseball game. We may not be making, every play or recital, or we may not even always be there for our partners romantically. But the way that we took care of home was the way that we took care of home. We knew there was no other way. Like that was what it was supposed to be.
And
go ahead.
No, I see that, but this is where my confusion lies. And ladies, help me out with this one. So, when it comes to the man not stepping up to the plate, we hold them accountable. This is not okay that you're in this position, but I don't see that when the roles are reversed and a woman is not performing. So in my experience as an educated woman that has her own, I've been told by men, you don't need me, so I don't feel necessary in your life. So that's where I'm confused, and that's where the disconnect lies. A woman can come to the table with nothing, and a man feels like Superman helping her to get to where she needs to be.
I do not understand that, because I've been told that, well, what you need me for? You can do everything on your own. I need you for companionship. I need you to be my partner. I need you. Like, I don't understand what you're not understanding.
Again, it goes back to what I was saying, how men value money like the women value love. Like it's an unequal but equal balance. Like and it makes no sense, because men, we're born and raised as to be providers, hopefully. You know what I'm saying? So it's like we have this innate desire to fix things, make sure things are taken care of. You know what I'm saying? I did that. That was me. I took care of that. Yeah. You know what I'm saying?
I tell every man real quick. I can't do nothing with the car. That's all you.
That sounds like, Charles, to me, that sounds like ego. Like,
think about it. This is what we've always been raised on. Have that ego.
But I think men also
we don't understand the necessity of letting the ego go until we've already had one or two really good heartbreaks, or we've hit rock bottom financially.
But I think
until we get to that point, we can't be holding, saying like somebody from the age of like 18 to 25, like wholly accountable, when it's just like all of these.
I don't think that's fair. Influences. I think men need to evolve past that point. I think that's I think it's a crutch and an excuse.
We're not disagreeing to that.
I know, but I think like on one hand, men are like, yeah, we're supposed to be the protectors, the providers, all that stuff. But you see so many single women, you see so many women that are independent, you see women taking care of themselves. So it's like, okay, now that role isn't central in your relationship with a woman, now what do you do? So I feel like then we get pushback though of you're too independent And then also men get caught up in, well, I don't feel, unless I have all my ducks in a row, I'm making a certain amount, I'm at this, then I'm totally unnecessary as a partner. And I don't think that's true either. So I think
now look at all these women out here.
It's a mindset.
I think at this point, a lot of the women who are, I think that at this point, men need to reevaluate their roles and understand that it takes more. It's more to being a man than bringing home a check. That was back in the day.
This is true. This is true. But it's a mindset. It's a hold on. If I can, it's a mindset in a blended community. Okay, you have women out here who want the man to bring home the bacon, who will allow that, who want that in the relationship, and who endear that and want them to step up to be that. Hey, you know, be a man. You hear it all the time. You may not like it when you say it, but at the same time, you have this image in your head of what it is to be a man, because your daddies, your granddaddies, and everyone did that. So wanting for let me bring it home. Let me just bring it and wrap it up.
All right, bring it home.
So for wanting them to represent in such a way, that's a mindset, and necessarily how a person feels about it. I can't make you feel anything. You will feel how you choose to feel, because as Tupac said, what I eat don't make you shit. We choose to we choose to respond to what happens to us in the way that we do. We can choose how we respond to it. We can accept what people do to us, but at the same time, I can't make you respond the way that you do. You like it, you like it. You don't like it, you don't like it. But that's something you communicate to him. If you don't want him to treat you like you know, hey, I'm the man, I'm the head of the house, then articulate that, because I don't need you to be the head of the house. I took care of a young lady who came to me with nothing, with 2 kids. I wasn't trying to be Captain Save-A-Ho, as they say. It was the kindness of my heart. Well, I met somebody that I like, and I was like, I'm gonna help raise you to the next level, bring your credit up, pay your bill, get you online, so that then we can start to build. It wasn't me saying, hey, I need something. I never asked for anything in return. Didn't want it, still don't want it. Didn't ask for anything back. It was like, if you feel like you blend, you meet somebody and you can do it, you can build it. Didn't work out. We're still friends today. Right. However, it's one of those things. It was the conversation of, here's what I'm trying to do. This has been my difficulty. And it was a constant conversation. And I think that's where it breaks down. And it's managing expectation of the person. If I know she's not good with managing money, hey, you know what? Let me help you build a budget. Can you follow through with it? May take a few times.
I think you're making a separate point, though, than what I just was going to address what Charles was saying, like how men feel like that's their role as a provider. And I'm saying
some of them do.
That's the rigid definition of manhood that we look to in society. And I think that I see a lot of women saying, well, they want more emotional support from a man. They would rather have a man. Yes, we need money to live. That's obvious that we need money to sustain ourselves. But a lot of women want emotional support. Even women back in the day, even our
should have both. It shouldn't be one or the other. Should have both. Financial and emotional.
You're gonna interrupt. I can't. I'm getting.
Oh, okay.
Right. But I just wanted to finish my point. So even back in the day, women wanted that, but they didn't have the leverage to do so because financially they couldn't take care of themselves. So I don't even think that idea in and of itself of wanting a partner and that provides emotional support, companionship, and those things is a new thing. But I think it's a new reality based on where women are financially today. Because then you have men that like, yes, I want to be the provider, but then you also have men that if women ask for that, they're like, oh, y'all are gold diggers, particularly Black women. So they push back on that. So my point is, like, men need to expand their definition of manhood and look at other aspects of that and not just solely being a provider, because that's not your only value as a person. Because what happens when you lose a job? What happens when you're down? Like, money, you get it, you lose it. Like, it's what it is. So I feel like when you're tied to that as a man, that makes you intrinsically unhappy when you're not producing. And so that affects not only yourself, but also your relationships with, your partner, your spouses, your kids, your family, whoever, your friends. It's a lot. Like one of my homeboys was telling me, like, he had a really good friend, has a really good friend. He lost his job. This was like something happened a few years ago. And he totally went ghost on all their close friends. And they were like, dog, what happened? He like, oh, I lost my job. I ain't want to talk about it. That shouldn't be the time in which you just retreat. Withdraw. That should be, you should be able to just as a person to reach out to people and rally and have support. You know what I mean? But men, because y'all are so tied to that one idea, and I think also women, like I said earlier, have internalized.
Is it really gender based?
Hell yeah.
I think women have also internalized a lot of those ideas about men as providers in our society as well. So that's why a lot of women say, yeah, you gotta be a man and all this stuff. If men
but you said get rid of that
is and show up differently and show up more vast and more expansive than just providers, then women will stop looking to them to just be that. Bring home a check, yes, but also bring home some emotional intelligence. Bring home some self-awareness. Bring home some maturity. Bring home.
But is romance with no finances a goddamn nuisance, right?
But
I think you're missing. I think you're missing the point.
I was messing with that.
Oh, okay.
Patty was a.
I ain't gonna lie, dog.
She was ready for me. She was ready for me.
Patty was ready.
Huh?
I said, I was like, I had 50 mental clips to shoot at your ass. Like, bro, you can't be serious, for real.
No, that's why it was the song. Romance, no finance, goddamn nuisance.
But I think what she's saying, I don't want to take away from value from what she's saying because
I don't
very
either.
Important. So when women say provider, we don't always just mean financially providing.
No,
I
absolutely,
tell men all the
of course.
time, when I say I need security in my relationship, that don't always mean my physical safety. Sometimes I need emotional security. Sometimes I need, financial security. Sometimes I need, a mental security to know when I'm having my bad days. Yeah, it does need to be balanced, but we internalize certain words to mean certain things. So just to piggyback off of that, I want to see men actually get to know the women they're dating before taking these steps with women. Because if you know who you're dating, you know what they mean when they say, I want a provider. You know what they mean when they say, I want security.
Dead ass.
I mean,
because that's on both sides. It's on both sides.
It is both sides. That's why I said it's a gender based.
She got me wiggling my finger on that one. That's good.
No, that's why I said. That's why I asked, was it gender based? Because and I understand that you were saying that men, but I was thinking the same thing. It's a gender based thing because for a guy who will provide all the support to a woman financially, he doesn't just need her to for sex. At the same time, he wants that love. He wants that support that she has to give in whatever way she can give it. It's not about her necessarily contributing financially. If she can, good.
Keep it 100, dog. I appreciate what you going with that.
Right.
Yeah.
That I ain't even gonna let you finish that statement.
No. Go on.
Because those women that don't do that don't just show up out of nowhere. She wasn't shit to begin with, and women's not shit level is a little bit more on Front Street.
No. When I say this, I'm thinking of no. I'm not. I gotta kick back. I gotta kick back on it. I gotta kick back on it because
okay, go ahead, pimp.
The reason I'm gonna kick back on it because people come from different circumstances.
True.
And for me, and I'm thinking about a particular sister that I helped through her valley.
You help a lot of people, Dwight. Kudos to you.
Honestly, I mean, hey, you know what?
It's helping the world, one person at a time.
Hey,
stop helping these hoes. That's the problem.
Hey.
Stop helping these hoes.
Do you write these off on your taxes and the charitable donations?
The love I've given that comes back to me. I can tell you that. I'm blessed to be a blessing. I can say that. So it doesn't matter for me. You know what I mean? I'm blessed to be a blessing, and I can say that
that's admirable.
I know people who have, and not everybody out here is trying to game the system. Not everybody is trying to get over on somebody, but a particular sister that's in my head that I said that I helped through her valley. I mean, when I tell you, if you knew the backstory, you'd be like, "Oh, well, damn, okay, now I understand where you're coming from." But not to put a situation out there. she is now doing much better. And somebody who called me recently and said, let me take you out, let me grab the bill, who's now on her feet and doing well, but time had to get there, you know what I'm saying? But she wasn't there when I met her. If we just dismiss everybody who's going through hardship because it seems like they're just trying to, take a meal from us here or there, then what do we do in our own community?
I don't think that's really the case. I think I like to tell a bunch of people, especially people around me, you got to meet people at their C level. And that's SEE level, C level, dog, the visionary, homie. If we can't see eye to eye on certain shit, why we keep going down this road? You know what I'm saying? And not to necessarily knock it like this. I'm keep 100. Some people just ain't dateable. Okay, you can't see me. Do you understand me? You can't talk to me. You are no longer in my bracket. You understand what I'm saying here? I'm not saying that because I don't fuck with you and I think you a broke bum motherfucker. It's just saying that, hey, I don't go that route anymore. I don't play that way, and that's it. It's accountability factor. At a certain point, we do have to chalk some people off. Because as I said one time, if you potentially dating somebody because of potential, you potentially wasting your motherfucking time. Okay, so we can sit here and talk about all this hypothetical stuff.
Whoa!
But at a certain point, you gotta look at this shit and understand. I am no motherfucking Mother Teresa. Okay.
Were you a good person when you weren't dateable?
Hell no.
Are you no? In your fiber, are you a good person?
I'm a circumstantial
Keep it real.
person.
Were you a good person? Now, I'm asking this question for a reason.
Yeah.
Beneath what I'm asking you, Uncle Poochie, what I'm asking you, and I want to seriously get to this.
Yeah.
You may have had bad habits, you may have had bad things, but were you a bad person?
In comparison,
I get where you're going with that.
No. What I'm saying,
was your intentions bad in that moment where your intentions
bad? No, I didn't know what I knew.
Okay, so to my point, we have people who are coming through the valley. Not everybody's at the mountaintop. Yeah. And if you can't help somebody sometimes who's down in the valley to get to the mountaintop, then who are you? What is your value? Somebody helped you when you were in the valley to get to the mountaintop. You have come up. You didn't get there by yourself. No. If my understanding is correct, Dottie was there to see you along your path. She could have dismissed you and left you in the valley.
Yes. So while we're in the valley, because we're in the valley right now with this topic, we're going to switch over to a new topic. Let's do that.
Okay.
So we're going to allow.
My point before we leave that point, don't dismiss the people who are in the valley, because we all have an obligation to not just be a cancel culture to leave people where we find them, but to help to bring them and elevate them to the next level so that we can bring the generations above.
Dwight, thank you for your final thought. Next activity. We're going to allow our women and our men to ask the other gender one question, just for the sake of time. Ask one question and we are going to answer it. So women, what question do you want to ask the men? And men, give us an answer in 100 words or less.
100 words or less. Are we counting?
Clearly.
Count Dwight.
What's that?
I said I'm gonna count yours, Dwight.
Okay, all right. Okay, got you. What's the question?
Are we each giving a question?
Mm-hmm. We're just collectively just give one, just for the sake of time, because we're having a good time with our conversation, and we just want to make sure we just don't hold up the people.
I don't really have one, so you ladies can go ahead.
Do you believe in second chances?
Oh,
that's a good one.
No.
Damn.
100 words or less. No.
Damn.
Why?
Y'all don't spin the block around, because if you already showed me who you were, even if you were a good person, you obviously was not a fit for me at that time. So why am I going to go back around?
I was like that.
Okay.
Bad or good, either one. Why am I going backwards? We're moving forward.
Time doesn't go backwards. Why the hell should I?
And I want to poll the group. How many times have y'all given someone a second chance and this worked out better the second time around?
All right, good night. My name is Professor Brittany, and dating your gone. We're done.
Is there a negative?
I just want the evidence to go with it.
I'm gonna be honest. I have.
And it worked out well.
The block, and it's it was a better situation the second time than it was the first.
Y'all were older, huh?
Probably, yeah. Grew
It
a little
wasn't that
bit.
much older. It was some growth. It was a lot of growth on his end that I saw.
Oh, it had to be. It had to be.
That's good. I mean, that's good. I'm all for the success stories.
It was a lot of.
Listen,
I mean,
because I'm actually I'm a little bit of a part of that because I'm transparent on this show. You know what I'm saying? When I first met a lady, like, yeah, we were really, really great. I let my own
insecurities.
Yeah, I let the ones that I thought that was gone, the ones I thought that was taken care of and dealt with, they crept up, and
that's always happens.
And it happens because we're all human. You know what I'm saying? And yes, I wowed out. You know what I'm saying? I was doing something that I knew I shouldn't have been doing. Not in that kind of way. It was just more of how I was responding to the things that she was saying, and I wasn't seeing it from her perspective. And yeah, it was she being the strong woman that she is. She was just like, yeah, no, I'm not dealing with that.
Right. That hurt your soul, didn't it?
Took me down a couple pegs. I was like, oh.
Like, we're not doing that over here.
Like, oh, you not for my bullshit. Okay, got you. You know,
we ain't got time. We don't know how much longer we gonna be here. We ain't got time for this foolishness.
Exactly. And it wasn't until like I had to like really get out of my own way, get out of my own head, and like really just like hear her. And I was just like, after that, I mean, yo, that's my best friend. That's my ace. That's my love. That's my queen. I'm telling you, marrying this woman. So, I mean, yeah, it can happen. But like Patty was saying, there's a serious amount of growth that has to happen in order for something like that to get there. Does it happen often? No. Does it even happen rarely? Hell no. That is a once in a couple.
And I'm gonna be honest. In my situation personally, it wasn't even that I was going back to give him a second chance. I was going back purely for the D. I'm gonna be real. Like, I was
going to insist because you can do a spin around for that.
There you go.
Give it 100.
Keep it 100.
Give it 100.
Might as well. Might as well.
I ain't even mad at that. You can spin the block for some
my body count. Like, my body count, we can keep it right here. Spin the block.
High five.
So
high five. No raising the body count.
When I did, we linked up for a conversation because when we broke up, it was horrible. It was ugly. And it was a lot of what Charles said. He let a lot of his insecurities with himself, a lot of his trauma, prevent our relationship from growing. And for me, helping him grow as a man, to just keep it 100. And when we talk about things like giving money and paying bills, I was doing all that for him.
Wow.
Long distance relationship. I'm traveling to North Carolina
dealing with a straight up
two
plumber.
weekends out of the month, paying for hotels, paying for trips. Like, I was doing it because I do love this man, and his insecurities with thinking I felt like he wasn't good enough led to the demise of our relationship, led to him acting certain ways, doing certain things. And it was like, mentally, I can't keep up. I literally had to sit him down and said, mentally, I cannot keep up with you. And until you start performing and acting like a man, I can't be with you.
Okay. Which
and so when I spin that block, it was like everything I had told him in our relationship, he had truly applied it. And he owned it. He was like, yo, I sat back one day and you were hounding me about my little job and why I'm not aspiring to do something more. Why I'm not,
did you call his job little?
Myself. No, I didn't call it little, but I told him he had potential to do better. Like, so at the time he was working security at a campus apartment. Like, you have potential to be better than that. Why you're complacent, you're content.
Yep.
Ooh. Because you're comfortable where you're at. But mind you, I'm in grad school getting a master's.
Mm-hmm.
Why can't you do it?
How am I pushing myself through a master's working a full-time job and you complacent with this job and me paying everything?
Because you holding it down.
Sometimes it's the men and I don't know how it got this way, but sometimes that fear of success, it has reached into our psyche and has hindered us so much. And I don't know, I can delve really, really deep, like way back to like slavery times and all of that stuff, but I don't think I'm gonna push that narrative here. But it's a lot of
healing that needs to happen.
It's a lot of healing, and it's a lot of generational hurt that came through, that that kind of hinders us from taking going for that brass ring. You know what I'm saying? We're like, we get told at a very young age, especially as young Black men, we hit the age of 18 and get out of my house and get a job. Like, you can't do nothing else but do that. Get out and go get a job. There's not been real support as far as, here, let me help educate you on how credit works. Let me educate you on how these bills are supposed to be paid. Let me educate you on, how you're supposed to, move about life as an adult. It's more like, well, you out here smelling yourself and you think you can come in the house anytime you want to. So yeah, you got to go. And it's like, well, oh, damn, where's the support? Because you don't see that in other cultures. You definitely don't see that in other cultures. Like, they'll be home until they're like 26, 27, 28. You know what I'm saying?
With the wife.
Building up the credit. You know what I'm saying? They got married. They living all in their mama house and everything. No problem whatsoever. You know what I'm saying? And then when they move out, they move right out into a house, and then they have like 3-4 kids. It didn't, But us, we're so forced to like grow up,
to figure it out right away.
With no real support, no real examples, because the other generations before us did the exact same thing. You go get yourself a city job, boy. You retire in 20 years. Like, the fuck is that? Like, no, like, teach me how to be an entrepreneur.
That was a really interesting accent. I like this.
That was Uncle Ruckus from down the street.
You understand? Because that's what you hear.
Charles, may I add? I partied with my father one time. I had my father on my show, and I had to add, I said, one of the biggest things that used to kill me about my father would always be like, when I was your age. And I had to tell my dad, when you was my age, first and foremost, it was the 90s. Gas was like $1, and you live in Tennessee, partner, okay? This is not the life we live in, okay?
No.
I live in California. Gas is $5 a gallon. And homie, I do not make $100,000, all right? I do not have a wife, and ain't nobody assisting me. That's one of those things that my heart goes out to Black men, because even him, he had it hard. $5 an hour with a kid. So you see how you just said that just trickles down with generational. His daddy, 22 years old with 2 kids. Figure it out.
And then we're expected by these women to be like, oh, be a man. How?
Like, I'm supposed to go to work and come home and bring you my check. That's what I know.
Yep, be emotionally available for me. How?
And going back to the topic, that's why I'm not going to say I don't think there can be second chances, because in my instance, he came back and was able to hold himself accountable and say, you know what? I dropped the ball. I was insecure. I was intimidated by the woman that you were. Because you were at this spot and I wasn't there. And therefore I allowed that intimidation to keep me complacent where I was and not try to push forward, and to allow myself to feel like to project my feelings of feeling like I was inadequate to you on you. And once
you know what, Patty, I love that. Like, I love that you even gave him a chance, because I've heard that as well.
Opportunity.
And then I've heard people apologize and tell me all that, and I was like, that is wonderful. Still no.
Well, see, it's a hard no. Here's where I think I protected myself.
I am.
Here's where I say I protected myself. It wasn't like we jumped back into a relationship. By all means, no. He knew very much I'm still out here dating. I knew he was out here still dating. But I will give it a chance to see, now that you have kind of matured a little bit, now that you see where I was coming from, can we start anew and see if we can build from here and get back to a relationship? Now, did it get there? No. But did the actual dating go better? Did I actually see more growth potential in him being the man for me? Yes. The reason it didn't work, it wasn't this time him, it was this time.
Look, accountability.
It wasn't him in this time, it was me. Me not being able to let go of what I dealt with in my past with him.
Okay, that's understandable.
That's real. That's
like,
real.
I just had is this a continuous growth, or are we getting to a point where you're just going to stay here? And I projected those feelings onto him.
Oh, wow.
Gotcha.
And it just was like, we can't go further.
Yeah, that's real.
That was a good question.
You're protecting yourself and you're protecting yourself and him.
That was a great question, Dwight.
Cool.
In terms of second chances, because I know as a woman, there are men that I do not end on good terms with that always seem to find their way back in my DMs or text messages asking for second, third, fourth, and fifth, and sixth, and seventh chances. So can we touch on that really quickly about why men do that?
Good loving.
I'll say the same than that.
Straight to the point. Good loving.
I mean,
listen.
Listen.
Brag on it, babe.
But
listen,
why most men do that in my case is because one, again, when I talked about you feeling like you the cock of the walk, you know, some men feel like, you know, you made your body shiver a little bit. I'm always gonna be in there, and it's like, hey, bro, chill out with all that, bro. You know, so that's one thing that comes off too. Secondly, I feel like men have this innate ability to feel like because we have, you know, been taught to say like sorry to things that we fucked up on, we feel like a thorough apology alleviates the whole situation. And when we as men sometimes see it, it's like, well, I'm over this shit. Why
you should be?
And it's like, nigga, are you crazy? Like, I'm still working on this credit score. Or my edges came back. Or motherfucker, my mama still hates you. Like, it's so many things, you know, that I feel like as men, we have like this short-term memory loss. But I tell you what, the funny thing is, had you did with whatever he did to him,
that's thunder.
I was like, wait a minute.
I did the same thing.
I was like, oh, that's thunder like that.
Mapucci. I did the same thing. I had to lift the headphones off. I was like, wait a minute, I hear roaring.
You just can't. Men can't accept the fact that if women do what they do upon to us that we did to them, they you know, it's just a thing. Because I had women. I mean, I got cheated on my last relationship. You think I'm gonna let her come back? You must be out your damn mind. Now, don't ask me how many times I treated myself. Don't ask me that. But,
that's real though. No, this is real. I appreciate that. That's real.
So. Yeah, I find that I've had that experience too with men where like something will take place in the relationship, situation, whatever it is. And I feel like instead of a man really like coming back with some accountability or acknowledgement, they'll just kind of show back up like, hey, like you're just supposed to forget everything that happened. And it's like, that's not how this works. It's a lot of entitlement, I feel like, in that type of response. And I think sometimes people don't feel comfortable talking through things. And you could easily sometimes say you're sorry, but really like grasping the situation and what you did, a lot of people don't even go into that. And like Charles had mentioned before, like change behavior, that's the apology. But people aren't even ready to change their behavior. They're not ready to pivot in a different direction and do some different things when it comes to you. They just want to, I think sometimes people want the access to you versus you. So it's like when you cut that off, that's what I feel in my experience a lot of men have had trouble with. Oh, I can no longer access you.
That's the point.
So that's
significant. Access. That's significant.
That's the point because
that is definitely a thing.
Let me tell you something. A man can get pussy, but a woman would always get dick. Don't ever forget that shit. Like, don't ever forget that. And that's the thing. Like you said in there, the guys want the access. They want the love, and they want the security. They want the fact that they know
they can hit you up, you'll respond. There's some sort of gateway to you.
I'm telling you.
Hey, how have you been? Hope you're well.
I am.
The entitlement, which when we break it down to the root, is narcissism. And that's just what it is.
See, I was going to agree with you and say I'm guilty of that until you brought up narcissist, because I'm not a narcissist.
Yeah. I was about to say I'm over here guilty too.
Yeah, I was like, and then he threw narcissist in there, and I was like, oh.
As we already know. in the block. So
narcissists are the only ones that say they're not narcissists.
Don't do that to me.
I'm just saying.
I dealt with one in real life. I am not one.
I know I'm a narcissist. I mean, look at my name.
Sociopath.
Have any of you men in this forum, have you ever reached back out to somebody for like a third, fourth, fifth time? I understand second chances, sure, but after that second time, when do you consider the situation dead?
When she stopped responding.
Stop cussing at me. That's the first.
Because after the second time, let's be real. After the second time, it's kind of a known fact we literally just hitting each other up for a certain interchange. Like we not playing no games. We adults. Like if you coming back and want that kind of access to me, you're not trying to date me, because if you were trying to take me serious, it would have fell through on the first or the second time.
Right.
So at this point, it ain't you spinning the block trying to get to know me or date me. You spinning the block because you want to fuck. And either I'm going to give you that access to do that, or to think you're going to do that, or I'm not.
But even with that, Uncle Poochie, even going with the response thing. So another question, even in no response, men will go to great lengths, whether it be to get another phone number, get an email address, speak through Cash App. Like, at what point do men realize you don't want you?
Lord.
Yes.
Well, I will say this.
Oh, you got that good, because I ain't had a
You got that good.
Right. I'm like, wait a minute.
I mean, I've cashed out women.
Teacher, please teach.
I've never cashed out women. I like to tell people, listen here, man. I trick when I treat. And if I like you, I won't shit. You know what I'm saying? But the thing is, it's always a mutual energy when it comes down to it.
Hold on. Pause.
Hold on.
Let's back up.
Witty. I like it.
Say it again.
I trick when I treat, because if I like shit, I won't shit. You see what I'm saying?
Boy, get out of here.
All right, Uncle.
Come on, Dottie.
I need my notebook.
Okay.
You know how you get down. It to me, it's all about mutual energy.
Treat.
So I understand that sometimes we ain't meeting on the same path, and understand this, like sometimes maybe somebody didn't die in your family, maybe something going on with you, maybe something's not hitting right with you. So you not responding necessarily is not always a necessary no to me, because a no response with certain energy is just like, it's just not a good time right now, Pooch. Right. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's learning to read between the lines. Now, if you just strictly send me one of these DMs that goes, listen here, no, leave me the fuck alone, don't talk to me, blah, 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 blah. You ain't gotta be that direct. But if you just like, I actually, you know what? Funny story. There was a young lady I was dating, and I've got my life together, like really, really good. I've got my life together real well. And she's gotten her life together. And I reached back out to her. We were dating on and off for 7 years. And I reached back out to her, and she simply said, I do not think this is a good idea. To which I said, I understand. I hope all is well. She said, you too. That was the end of the conversation.
That's growth. That is so much growth.
We ain't never gonna talk again. We
ain't right. People don't understand that not every relationship or situation has to end badly. Like I've been exactly where you've been, man. Like great. It's just been like a quick text message, little volley. Like
I added her on IG.
I'll be like, okay.
How did that make you feel though?
You know what? Initially, I wanted to be like, well, man, fuck you then. But
exactly,
because I ain't gonna lie, I'm a human.
No, I love it. I love it.
I literally thought about it. I met this person when I was 17 years old. We were off and on for 7 years. Pooch, when you gonna get your shit together? Is what she would ask me. My drunk ass would think she would always be joking, like we just living our lives, not knowing. Looking back on it now, I'm 30. She like, yo, Pooch, you wasted 7 fucking years of my life. So it was just like, you know, when I looked at it, she could have been way harsher. She could have been way ruder, but she just was 100. She was like, you following me on Instagram, me following you on Instagram is not gonna work for me. I hope you have a nice day. And I was like,
wow,
bet.
But I think sometimes as women, we take no answer, like sending no answer or no reply as an answer to a guy. That is not an answer. You're still leaving that door open. You're still leaving that door open. Like, if I don't want to deal with you, I'm telling you no.
Can I touch on that? Can I touch on that? In the most consensual way, I mean this. A no response to some of these Negroes is a silent
challenge.
Yes. You got
it's a challenge,
to tell these niggas No, thank you, no interest, no, not no, I guess, no, maybe. I mean, for real, like, no, motherfucker, I'm not.
So let me touch on that.
Yeah.
Sometimes you can't because
even when you say no, even when you're silent, they will still find it as a challenge.
Thank you. I have a guy talking to himself.
No, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't.
The lady I'm
because if you don't, you're gonna say, "Did you just quit on me just like that? You weren't serious."
But I'm not even. I'm gonna flip it because let's be real. I be out here, right? I'm one of them. If a man don't respond to me,
I love you, Patty. You the best, yo.
If he really didn't want to deal with me, he would have told me no. It's right now, whatever he got going on, his situation, he's unsure about. So instead of telling me no, he's just not going to respond. It puts him in no jeopardy with whoever he's dealing with at the current time. And he ain't gave me no definite answer to close that door.
So you still expecting a response. You still expecting him to get in touch because
but you guys are easy. No, we could just hit you with a good morning text and y'all ready to go.
There you go.
It's just, I'm gonna be honest, it's easier for women to get a response than it is for men. But it's the same principle. Like, just because we don't give a response, like, oh, we see the message and we think it's, if I don't show him no attention, if I don't entertain this, he'll leave me alone. Nah, you just challenge him to go harder. You just challenge him to find any and every way to get your attention.
Yeah, I told a guy, I straight asked him, I said, why don't you just quit, yo? Like, I'm not interested. Like, I don't want to deal with you anymore. We had our time. Our time was over. Why are you stressing me now? And he's like, well, I just want to get...
He didn't believe in the expiration date. He thinks he was just playing hard to get.
No, he was like, I want to get to know the new you. No, bruh, we're not doing this. So now he's talking to himself in my DMs.
Y'all are hard. Y'all are hard, man.
But see, but dating has made us this way.
But see, that's what you gotta do. That's what they've been forced to do. Like just now, like a friend of mine. Well, she's damn near family. So she just posted a screenshot of some Negro who just popped in her DM, flat out like, what's under that green dress? I'm sorry. What?
Oh, that was my question I wrote down for the guys.
Oh
my goodness. We're gonna come to that. But I'm just like at some point you try to be at some point with the ladies, like they try to be nice, they try to give you the like, hey, I really don't think this is gonna work out. I'm just gonna go ahead and back away. But why? But what's this? But hey, good morning, good evening, how you doing? WYD, I see. Hey, I liked your post. Da 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 da. Like,
just like it and move on.
Like, why can't you just like exactly, Dottie? Why can't you just like it? Say I look nice in it underneath my picture. Like, what I don't like is if you can't compliment me in the open, don't compliment me at all.
Right.
And so after a while of all of that, you get frustrated.
You do
frustrated, and I absolutely get it because I hear these stories all the damn time, and it's so annoying. I'm like, well, why is he just continually